Hey folks, Crep Team on Air, and today I'm really proud to showcase this crane, the second part of that railway station. This crane is kinda simplest construction possible. It built on just a suspension, nothing else, nothing more. You definitely wanna see few more versions of cranes, because I was kinda impressed with Split Seat Crane. If I'm not mistaken, he built it in a Scrapyard Survival series, and this is basically the crane. That is basically the crane built on hinges rope. That's crazy. Also, I recommend you to check Engineering Coffee crane, which is built on kind of hinges and pistons. He built it in Martian Engineering series. Both links on both of these channels will be available in description, so do check them out definitely. And with that out of the way, let's look on this crane. Since it's based on suspensions, and both of that carets, big one, long one, and small one, are not connected between each other. I didn't attempt to connect them, but kind of with cable built of hinges, but failed because it became too heavy. This rope, this cable itself became too heavy. The distance is really huge. We need a lot of hinges, and they become really heavy, guys. So I end up to work wirelessly, and a little bit later I'm gonna show you how. For now, I wanna mention one disadvantage about working wirelessly. You need to have batteries on both carets. As you see, this small caret has batteries on its bottom, and this big one has batteries here, also 2 batteries. If we have batteries, we need a way to charge them. That's why we have this connectors pair, and here other 2 connectors pair. This small connectors connects small caret to the big one, and big connectors connect big one to the base. Both carets built from small blocks, small grid blocks, just because I want to have it as small as possible, and I actually kind of proud of this design because it's really exposed. There is nothing additional, only bare metal, only bare required, only bare mandatory stuff. Alright. With all that said, let's observe how it works. And the second stuff that I want to mention is it's really easy to get inside, just unfit. As you see, character can easily go in and out when this crane is parked. If it's not parked, though, you can use backup way. I'm gonna show you this way a little bit later, when it will be in this position. So here inside we have 3 exposed buttons. Let me get that stuff back. First button is for park on or unpark. What it does, it detaches these connectors, both pairs, big one and small one, and as you probably seen already, close this door just for safety. Second button goes to work mode, switches this cabin from work and rest mode. And to actually demonstrate it, I wanna move our time a little bit to the night. As you see, right now we have this light inside and basically no light outside. It needed here just to easily see all the scene in this cabin. When we switch to the work mode, though, this internal light gonna be off, but on external light we have nicely lit in our work area. We have that hazard lights that warns everybody around about being extra careful because we're gonna work with really dangerous equipment with this crane. Alrighty, for now let's go back to rest mode and move our crane to its position. By the way, moving this crane implemented in a way that you can do that easily with WSD case. So W and S moves that small current back and forward. A and D moves the big current, and it's implemented on these relays. You probably thought how actually we know when we should transmit the signal, because basically when we press A or D being on that post, it transmits signal from this antenna to that antenna on a big guy, and basically activates one of these 4 relays. There is 4 signals. Let me show you. 2 for backward and forward movement. What it does, it basically just changes propulsion on these wheels, on this pair of wheels, and basically we need to do that in an opposite way because this pair of wheels and those pair of wheels actually placed in opposite way. Also, we have a relay, I said, to stop the card. It's relay gonna be activated when we release the key. And park relay, that's obvious, it's just say this connector to be locked. So how we transmit this signal? That's the most important question, because how we know when we actually press A or D and when we want to move this card somewhere. To do that, firstly we have these 2 ion thrusters, and I highly recommend to use ion thrusters because they are doesn't require any fuel and almost no effect on planets because of gravity. So they're not gonna try to move your carrot to the left or to the right. Basically, that's not a big deal for this card implementation because it has wheels that hold it in a position and it's not gonna move anywhere. But I mean, that's probably fine to use atmospheric thrusters, but I'd like to use this one. So how it works? We have movement logic here with 2 event controllers. Each of these controllers kinda looks on a corresponding thruster and sees when it thrusts more or less than threshold. The thing is that for these particular thrusters, I found out that threshold in 10% is the best, because if you're gonna get it lower, this threshold is gonna activates automatically. For example, when thrusters kinda trying to stop the card from moving to both to the direction when it moves right now. And as you see, dampers are also off here to prevent that from happening. Also, let me show you next ways. So when it's active, so one of these thrusters actually have thrust more than 10%, it sends the signal that we need to start moving in a corresponding position, in a corresponding way. When we release this key and thruster and thruster goes below the threshold, we activate signal to stop, and basically it's just stops the propulsion. It doesn't do any braking or stuff like that, so you need to do that manually, but that's even better when we're speaking about crane. Whew, something like that. If you want to know more about this implementation, let me know in the comments, and I'm gonna record a additional episode just on this kind of transmitting and detecting movement stuff, detecting keys. Well, this crane is actually kind of specific. It suitable to lift containers like this. And to do that, we need to move that container from the transport rover to unloading position. To do that, we have additional automatic. So when we activate this sequence, it's gonna extend that arm and be ready to retract it when the container is unloaded. How we unloading them? To do that, we have some nice sequence of automation here also. Oh, first things first, we should go to the work mode. Then probably switch to our loading camera, and as you see, it's placed right on this rope, arm, whatever you called it. The thing is that we need this camera here to easily navigate and get that container. So let's move to our container. Should be right here. Yep. No worries, it's not gonna hit the container because all the heights are just perfectly checked. Okie dokie. Then see these three kinda helper projections. They are needed to get this container exactly from the position where it is. On buttons 2, 3, and 4, we have a way to rotate that hook for cases when container is not in a perfect position, but now it is, so that's not a big deal. Okay, let me switch to spectator camera to show you the process of loading, because it's sequence, it's automatic, and it's pretty interesting. I'm gonna move our interface out of the way and activate the sequence. So first things first, it's gonna grab the container with that hook, then turns this connector and connects to the container. It's worth mentioning that container itself has some logic. It doesn't have a battery, but it has 2 event controllers and 2 timers. Why they are needed? Because container gonna switch this connector and that connector, and also lights and stuff like that between 2 modes. First mode is current mode. It's kind of working mode because this is a main connector, and in this mode it has green lightnings and it's basically ready to work. When it sees that there is a connection point near this connector, it's gonna do the thing like deactivate this connector. Firstly lock transport, lock secondary connector, then unlock the first one, the main one, and switch these blocks. One of these event controllers is turned off, while the second one is active. It's because it's ready to switch into opposite position. With that out of the way, let me show you the loading sequence itself. It's kinda complicated, but let me try to describe it. Firstly, we have start loading timer, and what it does, it extends the pistons, turns on grab container trigger, of course turns off pistons back and turns off movement logic that needed to not interrupt accidentally the loading process. Second step is on container grab trigger. This trigger sees when this hook, which is magnetic plate, is ready to be attached, and do the following actions. Firstly, disable the pistons to prevent them from moving back, forth, or any other direction. Then it starts moving this connector to the container to actually switch it from between modes, let's say. turns off itself to prevent kind of accidentally trying to load more containers when one of them already attached, and turns off itself to prevent any weird behavior later, and starts this container lift procedure. That's this timer gonna wait when this stuff gonna be attached. So what does lift? Exactly what it says. It lifts pistons up, turns on unload and block. The first one, the start one, because now it's ready to unload everywhere. Locks this container. It's not gonna do anything in this case because this container locked itself, but it's not a big deal. And also returns rotor to its base position, basically making this container straight and ready to load anywhere. And activates movement logic because now we are ready to move further, and we can easily move use that container using move that container using AWSD buttons to the position where we need it. So now, as you probably seen already, we have two cameras on a toolbar, and let me show you why. First camera is for attachment, and as you see, it's kinda not too easy to unload this container with this camera. That's why we have second one that's right here. We can a little bit turn that container just to make it perfectly straight to the platform, and for example place it somewhere like here. Now let me actually move our camera here to show you how it works from outside. All that we need to do now is activate our unloading sequence, and it works kinda like this. As you see, it simply drops this container to the platform, and now we can activate these little magnetic plates to hold it in place while we're moving on a train. And yeah, you can fit up to 3 containers on that cart. That's how it's designed. And then it returns to the basic position because it's ready to grab the next load and load it. Let me show you how it works because it's pretty interesting procedure. From the start, it's obvious we're extending our pistons, turning on all needed stuff, turning off itself, and reset all the settings on advanced rotor because after returning it to the base position, it's gonna have some strange limits. Turning on our container obtained, and turning off movement logic to not interrupt unloading process. Then we have 2 triggers. They works simultaneously, kinda in race condition, because only one of them gonna do something. We have that detect platform sensor that detects everything near that container to prevent it from hitting on some place. What it does inside if we see something that might be the impediment, it believes that we are ready to unload the container, so it turns off pistons. Then it activates unmount cargo, turn off itself, and unlocks this thing and returns this connector to its base position. Something like that. This guy, just as always, is just unmount cargo. It waits for this stuff moving out of the way, and then just unlocks our hook and return all the stuff back. Now basically our crane is totally ready to load new cargo, but let's load that stuff back. And as previously, now you know what's gonna happen, but I wanna show you that from outside because I'm really proud of that sequence. It's gonna lift, grab it, connect that connector, and this is the case when we're connecting it manually because this container hasn't a battery and it can't connect it itself, but now it's connected and it's ready to go to the transport mode. So all that we need to do is just previously move it to the position, and yeah, there is the scene that all that equipment actually designed to work in a cooperative or multiplayer mode, wherever you gonna, oopsie daisy, we need to do that first, wherever you're gonna call it. The thing is that you need some other person who gonna extend this arm and makes it ready to catch the container because we need to load it to the transport. Basically, of course, you can unload it on other different place, but it's kind of designed to do that, and this is the second case of unloading. That's why I wanna show you how it works. So yeah, by the way, this I believe is a perfect moment to show you backup way back. For example, if you find yourself being outside of that cabin when it's not parked and it's not that easy to go inside, you can use this small ramp, kind of backup ramp. Go something like that, and then my goodness, folks, sorry, I just kind of a little bit afraid of the hate in real life, and that stuff pretty high, and it makes my heart works faster. Okay, one more jump, we're inside. That's much better. Let me close the door. Well, let's go to our unloading camera and move it something like that. Just barely hitting this connector. Something like this is gonna be perfect. Now we can firstly get our camera closer to show you how it works from outside and activate unloading sequence. As you see, it's gonna easily, just barely touching, remove that container to its position, and now it's ready to be loaded, and actually it's loaded. So this is the second case. Let me show you how it works, because now this trigger fired, this container obtained, it monitors this connector, and as soon as this connector disconnected, which means that this container kinda switched to the different mode, and gonna do the next things. First, turn off detect platform to eliminate weird behavior. Then move that connector out of the way and trigger unmount cargo. That's important. And turn off itself, basically. Why is that important that we're triggering but not starting that stuff? Because this guy, I mean, transport itself gonna grab that container and pull it inside immediately. So we need to unload and unmount our cargo in that exact moment. So what we're gonna do is to unlock our hook immediately and do all the stuff returning to its base position. Well, at that moment when all the work done, we typically wanna go to the rest mode and just move that stuff back to its initial position. I kinda thought about automation for this process, for going to the initial to the rest position, but you know, that kinda seems excessive to me. So now we're gonna just park that stuff, both connectors connected, it's gonna be charged, and yep, that's it. One more time. if you don't get something about configuring these sequences, if you want to know how to do that, let me know in the comments. Obviously tell me what exactly you don't get, what I should explain in details in this video that I can record on all that automations, and I do that. And that's basically it for today, folks. Just as always, both of these cards, big one and small one, are available on Steam. You can download it, check it, and if you're gonna do that, please give me feedback. Give me feedback in the comments, in a Discord, wherever you want. By the way, link on the Discord gonna be in the description also, and there in Steam Workshop you're gonna have all the parameters for that base, how to build it and how to assemble that stuff. So yeah, check it and let me know what do you think about this. With that said, just as always, thank you for being here, thank you for listening for me. I hope you was just a little bit amused, and see you next time, folks. Bye bye.